Up to this point in this video series, we've been dismantling common assumptions about buyer agents. Agents are not interchangeable. Good is not a strategic standard. Comps are not strategy. Market phase changes leverage. Competition changes leverage again. And hyperlocal intelligence creates advantage. Now it's time to pull this all together. Hi friends, Tracy Thrower-Conyers here. If we haven't met, I'm a multi-decade real estate professional and former consumer fraud attorney. I'm rewriting the Homebuyer playbook to help consumers make smarter agent choices for better home buying outcomes. Exceptional buyer representation is multidimensional, and there are 5 dimensions that determine whether representation is merely competent or strategically strong and calculated to lead to your highest and best outcome. Most buyers evaluate agents on 1 or 2 visible traits: experience, personality, responsiveness, referrals. But exceptional representation requires depth across multiple dimensions simultaneously, not 1, 5. So these are the 5 dimensions of strategic buyer representation: market phase awareness, competition and live leverage interpretation, hyperlocal and agent ecosystem intelligence, seller psychology and behavioral insight, and offer architecture and strategic execution. Each is dynamic. Each affects leverage. Each of these affects negotiation posture, and each of these affects how aggressively your interests are represented. And strength in one dimension does not compensate for weakness in others. Most buyer agents operate competently in 1 or 2 of these areas. Very few operate with depth across all 5. That's not an indictment. It's an agent reality. And unless you evaluate your buyer agent candidates across all 5 dimensions, you won't know what you're missing. You may choose someone who feels aligned, but alignment without depth creates blind spots. You may choose someone experienced, but experience without dimensional strength creates gaps. This is why good is insufficient. Excellence is multi-dimensional. I know this is a lot to evaluate, but this is exactly why those internet or AI lists of agent interview questions are oh so very inadequate. But you don't need to rely on those superficial lists. Instead, I have 2 other options for you to leverage using my strategic buyer agent interview framework. If you're a DIYer, I have tools for you to evaluate buyer agent candidates across the 5 dimensions. Or I also have a done-for-you solution that allows you to skip right to comparing pre-vetted agents side by side across the dimensions. If you want a structured interview and scoring system designed to help you evaluate across the 5 dimensions yourself, start with my Strategic Buyer Agent Interview Toolkit. Find the link in the description or use the QR code on your screen. For information on the done-for-you solution, look for Find Me Buyer Agents in the description. And in the final video in this series, we're going to talk about how to apply strategic buyer interview framework to your own situation and what your next smart move looks like. Click the video on your screen and I'll see you over there.